Hi everyone. Well, Bella and I want to welcome you to the Coati River. And this is the back of our beautiful Flow Yoga, although too quiet right now. But we do have the birds in the background, the water, the beautiful blue sky. I even am getting to ride my bike in here now because there's no traffic on the road, so that's a pretty cool thing. So anyway, take a moment, settle yourself in, pull out your mat. If you'd like a blanket, a pillow, something for you to sit on, to raise your legs, to comfort your head when you lay back, please go ahead and do so. And again, I'm Faith. This is Flow Yoga. And so glad to have you with us in our Stay at Home video series. So as you begin to settle yourself down, go ahead and lay back. If you're using a chair today, just go ahead and sit back with the chair, bringing your buttocks back, and go ahead and let the back of your body rest at the back of the chair. Also notice with your feet, if you are on the chair, you do want your feet grounded. So take a moment as you settle yourself in. Don't rush this. We have lots of time. And then as you settle yourself in, allowing your eyes to gently close, feeling your lashes gently intermingle with one another as though they're kissing. Feeling our jaws gently relax and soften. Noticing our tongue beginning to settle down into the floor of our mouth. And then feel those shoulders just starting to let go and to relax. The weight of the world is not on your shoulders. And all we have to do right now is just breathe. So feeling the body melt into this space. Just begin to feel the breath moving into the body, noticing where that breath is moving. When we first come into the space on the mat, or in our chair, we may notice that breath is moving fairly high. This is really where we are most of the time during the day and in our life. So if we notice that, this is where we can start to make change. Just slowly begin to invite the breath to come down into the deepest place of the lungs that you can access this morning. And if you're watching it this afternoon or this evening or another time, just always allowing that breath to find that deeper place where you are at that moment. Maybe we can begin to feel the belly muscles soften if we were holding ourselves constricted and tight. And there we go. We can begin to feel that breath expanding into the lungs. And maybe feeling that deepest place slowly start to open up. Maybe noticing how those ribs begin to expand a bit as well. Feeling those ribs widen outwards. And then as we can feel that breath starting to come from that base of the lungs and rising up into the chest, maybe you feel the ribs lifting out and up, almost like little bucket handles. And then feeling that breath rising just to the space just below those collarbones. And if you start feeling those shoulders creep up into the ears, just let them go. There's nothing that you need to carry on those shoulders right now. All we need right now is to breathe, to be in this still, luscious space. So just breathing into the nose And then let's go ahead, opening our mouths as we exhale, letting all that breath go. That maybe you feel and hear that resonance, but just feel that you just let go a little bit more. Maybe noticing as the mouth closes, you start getting a little curl into the sides of the lips, of the mouth, that you start getting that little yoga smile. And there you go. You're there. Let's just take a few more quieting breaths here. Take a moment to set an intention, something that we wish to bring into our practice this morning, something we may wish to bring into our life today, beyond today. Maybe something bigger, maybe something, maybe not even for ourselves, but maybe for something that goes beyond our own self. Whatever it is, just feel that breath. Setting that intention, and then with each breath, allowing that intention to fill every cell, every molecule of your being. We let that intention be our guiding light for today. Now, as we slowly begin to bring a little bit of movement into our bodies. So if we're seated in a chair, we're fine right where we are. If we are lying back and we have our knees bent, let's go ahead and extend our legs out. And then as we breathe in, can we bring one leg up into the chest? Just go ahead and hug that leg in. And then as we exhale, just slowly allow that leg to come back to rest. And just begin a little flow, breathing in, drawing that leg up. And then taking our time with that long, slow exhale, letting that leg release. Letting our eyes close, because there's nothing here that we need to see other than that intention that we can see in our mind's eye, in that sixth chakra, Anya, our place of intuition, of imagination, of insight, but also a sight of clarity. Just breathing in, lifting that leg, exhaling, slowly letting that leg go, and just creating here your own flow, breathing in and breathing out. Maybe you begin to hear something in that breath. Hearing that wisp of that breath into the back of the throat. Maybe you begin to notice that gentle flowing of the body, that breath, how it conducts that orchestra, because the body follows that breath. The music of your own being. Let's do a few more. And so that we can all be on the same side. The next time your right leg comes upwards into your chest, let's go ahead and bring it in and stay there. Notice if your shoulders started to lurch forward and maybe you started to Bring your body, I call it that little shrimp-like position. Did you lurch yourself up? So can you lower that upper body down? Feel the chest open and feel that knee rising up towards the shoulder. And then making some little movements of that right hip. We can begin with a little maybe side to side motion. We've already done forward and back. Or maybe you go right into that little circle. That hip joint loves circles. That's how it's made, so it enjoys that motion. And just breathe, moving slowly, breathing in, breathing out. And then if you are creating that circle, let's go ahead and take it the other way. And you know, I didn't tell you which direction to make your circle that first time. So when you switch, it has a very different feel to it. So notice that. And then can we draw that knee up and towards that chest one more time? Again, make sure that we didn't lurch the body up, but we soften the upper body down. Imagine your head now going in the opposite direction of your left foot. So maybe feel that left foot as though it was at a wall and you could press that wall away. And you can feel yourself getting taller and stronger. Now, if you wish, our tongues reaching to the roof of the mouth as we inhale, as we breathe in from that base of the lungs, we can slowly start to lift our upper body to the leg, or if you're seated in the chair, you would lift and then lean your body towards that leg, whatever feels good. But be careful that you're not pushing into the back here. We want to stretch the back. We want to work the front body to come into this space. And then gently and slowly feel yourself melt out as we exhale. Allow that right leg to come back out. And just take a moment and notice, how does that leg feel? And let's go ahead and take that right arm up into the sky. And then maybe press up through that right side just for a moment. Feeling now that length into that right side, that you can feel the fingers from the foot. And then slowly and gently releasing that arm. Take a moment, just melt yourself here. And let whatever changes took place just kind of imprint themselves into your being. And then as we inhale, can we invite that left knee towards our chest? Again, notice, did we lurch? Let's go ahead and release. And bring a little movement into that left hip. And you may notice just the movement on the two sides is different. So when you're ready, start making that circle. So if you're right dominant, the right side may have felt better. If you're left dominant, the left side feels better. So notice how the two sides are not playing quite the same. Just feel the breath in, feel the breath out, allowing the body to gently move. And then again, we want to create that circle in the other way. And notice too how that is different as well. So those who live here in Florida understand there's some no-see-ums, the sacrifice I am making for you today for this video. And then go ahead when we're ready, drawing that left knee again towards that left shoulder. Don't just lurch up or over, but get nice and tall. Feel how that right foot presses away just a bit. Feeling that left knee rising up into the shoulder. So whether we're seated or lying, feel that length. And then we can slide our tongue to the roof of the mouth. As we take that inhale, starting from the base of the lungs, we can begin to start lifting. So we're almost like we're lifting our belly first to our thigh. And if we're seated on the chair, we still want to get tall and then feel our body melting over as we draw that leg in. But again, checking in to make sure that we're not creating tension or tightness. And then as we're ready, softly beginning to release, letting the upper back melt down, and exhaling, allowing that left leg to release. And again, just notice, just breathe. Let's take our left arm, reach it up and back. And then press the fingers as far away from the foot as we can. Find that length in that left side of the body. Just breathe big here. Really breathe fully. And then when ready, the arm will come down. Allow the legs to just gently soften a bit. And then can we slide our feet up the mat, letting our knees bend and giving ourselves a little side to side windshield wiper motion. And then slowly bring our knees upwards into our chest. Let's give ourselves a full hug here in a full Apanasana, that release wind pose. And if that's what's happening, that's nature. So go ahead and do so. And then can we allow ourselves to rock side to side here? And then allow this side to side to become circles. So go ahead and use your hands to guide the legs. Maybe we hold at the knees, we hold at the thighs. And if you want a little bit more work, a little more activity today, let's really strengthen at our ankles, and we can begin pressing those legs away as they sweep around to one side, coming back to that other. So see for you what feels good. I know you're checking in to yourself and coming back to that intention, letting that be your guiding light today. And just noticing for you how you're feeling, what you're feeling, and you may notice, oh wow, I'm going in that same direction that I always go in. So let's go ahead and put our brakes on, just pause and take it the other way. Just feel that breath, breathing in, letting those legs move. So again, we can make this gentle as we gently touch our legs and guide them through. Or if we're looking for a little bit more work, we can press those legs. And if we're seated on a chair, this is where we may turn and let our upper body make a circle. And then we'll draw one more time our knees to our chest. If we're on the chair, we can let that upper body gently melt down. Let's give ourselves that hug. And just breathe. Again, Apanasana, release wind pose. And then from wherever we are today, we want to come into a seat. So allow ourselves to either sit right up or roll to our side. Come up to our seat. And let's find an easy seated pose. So even if you're on a chair, you may be able to get your legs crossed under, or let your legs stay down. And then bringing whatever extra baggage you have underneath, taking it out of the way. Maybe take your hands and pushing the back of the mat away from you that you can sit tall. Maybe you can lift that buttocks up a bit. And let's just take a moment here to sit nice and tall, maybe roll those shoulders a few times. And let's take our head and turn to the right. Notice if that left shoulder tried to follow you, so you can let it stay. Softly feel that left shoulder melting down, just turning the head. Now breathing into that space on that left side of the neck between the ear and the shoulder. Just find that space. And then slowly come back center. And let's take our head and turn it left. And we may notice how the two sides of our neck are very different, allowing that right shoulder to stay where it is and find space into that right side of the neck. And then come back center. You just move that head a tiny bit. Let that head feel that space that it supports itself. We can always, if we need to raise our buttocks, we can sit on our blanket. And let's take our arms out to the side, raising all the way up, lengthening. So your fingers now are capturing that beautiful sky. We'll bring the hands together at our hearts as we come down. And let's here do a few sun moon salutes. So we take a big deep breath in, raising all the way up, and then exhaling. Maybe let your eyes close and just look through that third eye, that Anya, that sixth chakra. Now the next time our arms rise up, let them stay there. And this is where we have a choice to make. Do we like having the palms together? Notice how it feels at our shoulders and neck. Would we prefer our arms to reach out a bit? They can even be out like a letter Y if that feels good. But we do want the arms stretching here as opposed to bending. If we can, we want to try to stretch them and give ourselves a little side to side sway. A little seated half moon. And then can we allow this to start circling a bit? And then allow the arms to start moving a little. So getting a little bit of mobility here, feeling those shoulder blades. And then come back to center. Raising up, noticing, and we're going to look to the right, and we're going to reach that right hand all the way out to the side. Let it softly come down. Let that left arm reach up and look down that right arm just for a moment. Can we feel that left side of our ribs? Breathe into that left side of the lungs. Breathe big, breathe full. And then as we inhale, bring that right arm up. As we exhale, turning our head left, lowering that left arm down. And feel that right side lifting up. Breathe in now to that right side of the ribs. And then one more time, lift up. Reach, 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 and then bring our palms together one more time as we exhale, coming back into that sun moon salute, the hands to the heart. Take a moment here to pause and then rest the hands. Let's go ahead and switch. If our legs are crossed, we want to switch which leg is in front of the other. And whose legs do you feel like you have now? Certainly not yours, right? Says, whoa, that's not right. Maybe make that little adjustment once again, lifting those hips. Find that place. Let's again do a few of those sun moon salutes as we take that big deep breath, raising up. Big deep breath, exhaling, letting our body release. And we're just going to do that 2 more times. Our next in breath, let the arms rise upwards one more time. And again, maybe the palms come together and maybe that feels perfect for you. Maybe you say, if I let the arms separate just a tiny bit, that feels better. And then maybe if you take them out a little bit wider, you go, that's perfect. So where do you feel you wish to be? And then again, a little side to side, a little half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana from a seated position. And then can we try to make a circle but go in the other direction? So notice which way you automatically go. And then see if you can put the brakes on and go, I need to go another way. Notice how that feels. For me, it feels very odd. And because it's feeling odd, I know that's exactly what I'm supposed to be doing right now. And then let's go ahead, reach those arms up again. Let's turn our head and look left, exhaling, taking that left hand down, reaching that right up, and maybe we go a little deeper. Maybe we can really reach that right and kind of reach our body over a tiny bit more, turning our head, looking left, feeling that space in the ribs. Take a big inhale, lifting up again. Turning our head right as we exhale, lowering that right hand down, and then inhaling, lifting that left up, feeling those ribs expand. Breathing in. And then when you're ready, inhaling, lift up, lift up, lift up. We're going to bring our hands to our hearts as we exhale. And just take a moment, let our hands come down, let our shoulders begin to roll and soften. Sit up nice and tall. Just check in with that breath, checking in with that intention. And then can we begin to bring ourselves gently into hands and knees? So for those of you who have been working on it from this place, maybe you can just bring yourself forward and roll. Maybe you want to bring your legs to one side, that's fine. But let's come on to hands and knees. If you want to use a blanket or towel or something to support you today, my recommendation is instead of just supporting your knees, which is going to raise your hips up and put a little more pressure into your hands, is to let that space support both your hands and your knees. So see how that feels for you, that it doesn't change the dynamic of your body, but gives you that support. We can either curl our toes or point our toes. That's completely up to you. And let's begin a few cows and cats here as we inhale, letting our heart shine forward. Feel our collarbones widening. And as we exhale, draw the belly muscles in, so we can feel that back round and lengthen. It gets wide and long. Feeling that inhale, let that tailbone begin to rise up first. And then let that chest really open. And then feel that nice exhale as the belly comes in. It's that belly lifting and supporting the back, and imagine that back like a waterfall. Just a few more here. On our next inhale, can we come into that cow pose? Go ahead and here lift our hearts. And maybe just take your fingertips into the mat. Lift the heels of the hands up. Notice how we really come into the belly here, that we don't feel anything else. These no-see-ums, they're loving me. So we can really feel that belly. We can feel how that low back releases, how that heart opens. And then press the hands back down again, wide fingers, but don't push into the heel of the hand. Keep those fingers still active. Feel the arch of the hand lift.
And as you exhale, draw the belly muscles in. And feel as though you're pushing the ground away. So here your arms feel really strong. You're not bending into the elbows, but the arms feel super, super strong. And then one more time, we're going to inhale, lengthen and open the chest. Let's curl our toes under. As we exhale, draw the belly muscles in again, but can we lift the knees up, press our hips back, and just take a moment for a puppy dog. Keep your knees bent here. Maybe you go ahead and straighten one leg a little bit and then the other, but we're not trying to get the legs all the way straight here. And then begin to walk our hands back towards our feet. Feel our heels gently pulling away from one another. And if you don't have a block and you're saying to yourself, oh wow, I wish I had a block, you could take that blanket, fold that up, and put that right in front of your feet, bringing the ground up to you. And we'll walk our hands to one side, whatever side we wish to come to. Breathe big into that rib. And then we come back center again, and then walk our hands to that opposite side, please. And then come back center one more time, but this time inhale, look forward. Think of the cow pose here. Go ahead and let that tailbone rise up into the sky. Breathe into those butt cheeks here. Imagine they're like balloons. And as you exhale, we're going to slowly start sitting back into those butts, into that hip. Feel the knees start to bend. And here we want to feel the legs really strong. So you're trying to bring your hips about the same height as your knees. Pause. Feel all 10 toes be wide, all 10 toes be long. Let's bring our hands to our thighs. If you are on the chair, you can still be seated here, letting yourself lift just a bit. Feel your hands into your thighs. You want to feel strong. And then when you're ready, inhaling again, lift all the way up, reaching up. Let's take our arms upwards to the sky, lengthening ourselves through, and then once again a little side to side, that half moon, a little flowing half moon here. Then we'll bring our arms reaching to the right. Let our eyes gently close, just breathe, feel that space on the left. Then we can take that right hand all the way down that right thigh. Bring it to the thigh, and then see if your fingers start easing their way down towards the knee. But don't force yourself, just feel yourself getting space into that left side. And then as you inhale, raising that right arm up, come all the way up out of the pose, exhaling over to the left. Stay here as you feel yourself reaching out. Feel that right side creating space. And then when you're ready and exhaling, taking that left hand down to the outside of the thigh. And then maybe feel the fingers easing their way down towards that knee. And then as we inhale, come all the way up again. This time our hands will come together, bringing to the heart, and exhale, finding chair pose, Utkatasana. And take a moment to find pause. But in this pause, we find strength, power. Now our hands can stay here to our hearts. Maybe we'd like our hands to come back to our thighs today. Maybe we've decided to sit back down in our chair, and that's fine. Maybe just a little bend here at the hip. Just take a moment and just pause. Breathe. Now we're going to turn, look to the right,
Feel that right shoulder now gently come back behind us. Bring our right hand as though we have a back pocket. Maybe we have jeans on and we can slide that hand into that pocket and just guide that right shoulder back and feel that left shoulder coming forward a tiny bit. Try not letting those hips move at all. And then come back center. I know those legs, they're working. You're going, oh, how long do we have to stay here? So let's look left. Slide that left shoulder blade back. Open the left side of the chest. Slide that left hand into that pocket. Feel how that right shoulder is coming gently forward. Breathe. And then come on back center. Hands one more time to the thighs, but let's take a big deep breath. Our arms are going to reach out and we can stand all the way up. If we're choosing to stay seated in our chair, just lift those arms up. It's fine. Reach, reach, reach. Feel that breath. Feel that length in the body from the fingertips all the way down. And then let's bring our hands together one more time. Exhaling, bending our hips. Letting our upper body start to tilt forward. Hands come to your thighs again. Remember, the knees stay bent here. Lower the upper body down. And then can those hands come down? So again, this may be where a block, or again, if you had your blanket folded and you could use that. And let's walk our hands to one side. Feel that breath into the side of the ribs. We'll come back to center and then walk our hands to the opposite side. All we need to do here is breathe. And then come back center one more time. Maybe feel the body releasing into the fold a little more. Feel the belly resting at your thighs. You can still allow the tailbone to lift up as your belly rests. Feel the relaxation of the shoulders and head. Maybe turn the head, move it around, shake it out. And then as we inhale, we're going to look forward. So let's just for a moment walk our hands a bit forward. We came into puppy dog to get here, so we're going to come into puppy dog to come out. So keep the knees bent. The hands are on the mat. Can you lift the toes? Excuse me, not lift the toes. If you could do that, wow, you'll have to definitely show me a picture. Lift up your heels. And we'll look forward, and can we slowly begin to bring our knees down to the mat. Take a moment and point our toes back behind us. Sit our hips back. And let's find a child's pose. Do we want to reach our hands all the way forward? That's fine. Would we like to stack our hands to rest our head? Would we like to reach our hands back towards our feet? Remember, we can even bring our blanket, we can bring our blocks, whatever it is, to rest our head. Let's just stay in this space for a few breaths. Remember, in the beginning, we opened our mouth and let out that sigh, that and we can do that here as well. Perhaps letting a little more breath go into one side. Maybe you can even walk your hands if you wish, or just directing your breath to come into one side. Take a few breaths into that space. And then allow the breath to shift into that other side. And then we allow the breath to come back to the center. Can we reach our hands now as far forward as we can? And let's lift the heels of the hands up again. Remember what we did before, just having our fingertips. So feel the armpits now lifting. Feel the body working. Breathe into that space. Feel the sides of the ribs. Imagine gills. And then maybe walk the hands a little bit more forward now. You just got a little more space. We're going to bring our fingers wide. Let's take a nice big breath in, lift up. Remember that cow pose from earlier, but now we're going to lift up and take this to cobra. So we just slowly let our body come forward, allowing those hips to come down. And maybe look at the arms. You want those hands directly under the shoulders. Feel those hips releasing. Feel that heart lift here. Find that breath. And then as we exhale, slowly draw the belly muscles in. Press the hips back. Now don't make too many changes here other than reaching the hips back. We're going to walk our hands back towards us just a bit. Let's come up to cow pose. But we do want to curl the toes once again. And as we exhale to cat, lift the knees, press the hips back, find puppy dog. So feel you're pushing your body back. And then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet. Keep the knees bent, the upper body melting onto the thighs. The body releases. Make sure the head is soft. And then as we inhale, we'll look forward. As we exhale, lower the hips back and down. So again, we're trying to bring the hips and knees at about the same height. Let's bring our hands to our thighs. And as we inhale, lift up. Let the arms once again reach, reach, reach. Feel that lengthening in the body. Go ahead and feel this front of your hips opening up. And our hands will come to the heart as we sit our buttocks back again. Let's bring our hands to our thighs. Just find that breath. All 10 toes are facing forward. Feel the arches of the feet lift. We're going to come into that twist again, but we're going to take it a little bit deeper this time. So if you choose to be doing this seated in a chair, that's fine. We can take our right arm. We're just going to start moving that shoulder a bit. And then let that arm start to move, almost like you're winding something up, but like a backstroke. Feel yourself turning just enough. And then when you're ready, bring that right hand again right at that right butt cheek. Maybe you can take it a little further back, opening. And then we're going to take this left hand, bring that to the right thigh, lower the left elbow down to the left knee. And feel yourself sitting a little deeper and turning. So you really feel that left arm helping to support you as you bring that arm. Now maybe you'd like a little more work today, so you take that right arm and you're going to reach it up into the sky. But this is again up to you. Where would you like to be? And then from wherever we are, let's bring that hand down. Turn the shoulders forward, hands to each thigh, and just lift and find that chair again. Again, a little work. Find that breath. And then let's take that left arm like we're winding it up here. So we're going to take that hand forward, lift and turn. And maybe for you, you just want to move that shoulder around. That's okay. Remember, it's all about your body. But feel how that right hand is on that thigh. And then when you're ready, taking that left arm, take it back, bring it to that left hip. Maybe you can ease it further back. Maybe you can open that shoulder a little bit more. And then if you want that next step, bring that right hand to the left thigh, lower the right elbow down to the right thigh, turn a little bit more. And then again, we have that option to keep the left hand where it is or raise it up into the sky. It's your choice. It's your body. Only you know how you're feeling today. And then from wherever we are, the arm lowers, the body softens, we'll come back center. Let's take a couple more breaths, just honoring these legs. Lift the heart just a bit. Feel the shoulders relax, breathe big. Maybe sing to yourself, I am strong, I am connected. I am. Let's take a big deep breath. Arms rise all the way up. One more time. Reach, reach, reach. Can we come into that half moon one more time? Lean a bit to the right. And then come back up and exhale, lean a bit left. And then up one more time. And however you wish to do your forward fold here, exhaling, bringing yourself all the way down. Maybe walk the hands to one side, breathing into those ribs. Come back to center, walk the hands to the opposite side. And then come back center one more time. Feel the body maybe releasing a little more. Belly's resting on the thighs. Maybe your heels feel really light here, really airy. Let's take a moment once again, look forward. Walk our hands a bit forward. Keep the knees bent. Let the heels come up a bit. Come into that puppy dog pose one more time. Feel the back reaching back and then slowly bringing the knees down. Point our toes and ease back to child's pose one more time. Again, hands can be long, they can hold your feet, they can stack with your head resting. Where do you need to be? This is you. And if you're sitting on a chair, maybe you can feel just the whole upper body melting down. Maybe you can rest those arms on the legs and rest your head, whatever is for you. Let's just take 2 more breaths here into that child's pose. And then we want to begin reaching our arms once again forward and long on the mat. Again, lift the heel of the hand up. Just feel the fingertips pressing. Feel the armpits lifting. Feel the back lengthen. And then can we walk our hands a tiny bit more forward? And let's find our cobra. So as we inhale, we're going to lift. Exhaling, releasing those hips down, and as you inhale, press that earth away and open that heart. Feel those shoulder blades coming firmly into the back. Feel that heart lifting. And then as we exhale, slowly draw the belly muscles in, press the hips back. But then this time we're going to walk our hands back. And we want to take a seat. So if you do need to have your blanket or something to raise your hips, please go ahead and do so. And let's today, when we find our seat, tuck first the left leg in. So if you can, allow the left heel to be kind of under the right hip. And our right foot is either going to sit right in front of that left shin, or can we cross that right foot over to the outside of the thigh? Now, if you feel this right hip hiking up, we need to kind of lower it a bit. So maybe we lift our hips up and scooch them a little bit to the left, and we may feel it lowering. Maybe that's when we take that blanket and sit it underneath. Maybe if it keeps hiking, maybe that's when you bring that right foot by the left shin, and that's going to help you. So just see how you are here. We're going to come into a nice twist again. So let's take our right arm, we're going to lift it up, and we're going to turn to the right. And then our left arm can either hug that right leg in. For those of you who enjoy bringing that elbow to the outside, that's fine. Just be careful that the shoulder isn't hiking up for you to ease that arm over. Just find that nice space here as you lift. Now keep your left hand on your right knee as you come back out. Just take a moment, come back out here. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take that right hand and bring it to our left shoulder. And then bring this left arm underneath of it and kind of really as though you're tying a knot here, that you feel your hands, your right hand going as far left as you can and your left hand going as far right as you can, maybe easing it into the shoulder. And then let's press the arms together, lift the hands, and let's find eagle here. If your shoulders are creeping into the ears again, can we lower them down? Can we lift and open? Just breathe here. Notice the hands. Maybe we need to have the back of the hands together. Maybe we can play with the turning of the hands, and maybe the hands don't quite want to touch. That's okay too. Can you move a little? Make sure that you're not holding tension. And then let's slowly release those arms. Maybe roll those shoulders a few times, sitting up nice and tall. And we'll release that right leg. Extend it out. And then the left. Maybe move just a tiny bit. And we're going to cross our legs again. We just want to switch. This time our right leg comes in. And if you are seated in the chair, I haven't forgotten about you. But in this case, just cross that leg over. So in this case, you're going to have the left leg crossed over the right, where before you had the right. And then we're going to take that left foot again. Maybe that left foot sits in front of that shin, or maybe it crosses over. So again, it's about where's that left hip. If that left hip is up, you may just need to lift and move and scooch the hips right. Maybe that's not enough. Maybe that blanket. Or again, just bring this foot back. And notice how the two sides, the hips are very different on both sides. Sitting up nice and tall, take that left arm, reach it up, back stroke it over. And then this is when the right arm either hugs that leg in, or again, if you like to bring that elbow on the outside, but just check in to make sure where that shoulder is. Lifting up nice and tall. And then as we go to come out of the twist, let's take that right hand to that left knee as we come back center. And then bringing that left hand to the right shoulder, scooching that right arm under that left. Go ahead and now work the right hand left, that left hand right. Give yourself a big hug. And when you're ready, pressing those arms together, lifting the hands. Let's find our Garandhanasana. Here, our eagle's arms. Notice how not just the hips are different, but also notice how your shoulders are also very different. Maybe you can close your eyes. You can really feel that stretch, that space. And then slowly taking our time, letting our hands release. Releasing the left, releasing the right. Take a moment. So we're at that moment as we begin to transition ourselves back down to find that space that we were when we began our practice today. But here we can bring ourselves into that pose that calls to us. From here, maybe you would like to do a boat pose. I mean, that's perfect right here, isn't it? We're by the water. You can lift. Maybe you come back and you come into a bridge, or maybe you're wanting to come into a wheel. Maybe you want to bring yourself into another little twisting pose today. Maybe the knees into the chest and you just give yourself a loving hug.
Or maybe you're already down on that mat. Maybe you have your eyes covered, your body's relaxed. So I give you a moment here to come into that space for you, to seal your practice, because that's what this is. This is your practice. I'm here to guide you, to offer some little tidbits to help you, but this is your practice. So as we all begin to start settling ourselves in, once again, lying on the mat, just feeling our eyelashes gently intermingling, our jaws relax, our tongue sinking to the floor of the mouth. Our shoulders are released. We can feel the breath filling our lungs from the base, and our lungs slowly expanding, rising outwards and upwards. Maybe we open our mouth and letting out that gentle release, that Our palms have an up and open sweep. Our buttocks is relaxed. Our legs are long. And we breathe. You're welcome to stay in this space as long as you wish. Breathing and noticing that gentle up curl of your lips. Yoga bliss. We're strong. We are connected. We are Flow Yoga. May the long-time sun shine upon you. May all love surround you. And may the pure light within you guide you on. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste, everyone.